Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, Unabomber Ted Kaczynski was found unresponsive in his prison cell over the weekend. Hear how law enforcement leaders are ruling his death this morning. And today is a big day for America and a big day for former President Trump, who is expected to enter a not guilty plea at his federal arraignment today. Yesterday, he arrived in Miami ahead of the arraignment. We have the details. And Kia is recalling thousands of its 2023 model year Sportages. We have what you need to know and more straight ahead.
I'm looking at a live view from Cuero, courtesy of the WeatherBug site there. The sun is up and the heating of the day begins. More heat on tap for us. Oh yeah, in a big way. We'll take a look coming up.
After 47 years, it has finally happened. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
Trey Manning here.
And today it's the 13th day of June 2023. The time is now 6:30 on your Tuesday morning. And today it's World Softball Day.
Oh, very interesting.
Trey, I didn't know softball was created around, I think it was 1926. I just looked it up.
Sounds like it would be around that time.
Yeah, 1926. It was coined by Walter Hackinson of the YMCA.
Interesting. Learn something every day. I know that baseball was invented way earlier than that.
Oh, yeah.
Admiral Doubleday was the inventor. So a little sports history there for you. And for us here, well, we're dealing with the heat. So if you don't have any baseball games, softball games, take them inside if you can, because it's too hot to do anything outside, especially in the afternoon. Dangerous heat index values are for us today. And looking at a live view, courtesy of the WeatherBug site there at Cuero, looking pretty good. A few clouds in the distance there. No rain as of yet. Don't expect any today. Current temperature is 78 degrees. And feel like temperature already in the low 80s area wide, including us here in Victoria. 7-mile visibilities. And the pressure pretty much normal for this time of year and this time of morning. And the heat advisory goes into effect at 1 o'clock until 7 p.m. That's the timeline for heat index value 105 to 110. That's possible throughout the entire region here, including Victoria County. So know what your heat safety tips are and be sure you are staying safe. And feel like temperature starting off in the 80s to near 90 degrees, and that'll be the case right on through the 11 a.m. hour. By 3 o'clock, we're getting near the century mark area wide heat index value, and keeping that going to about 8 or 9 p.m. Notice the time 9 p.m. Triple digit heat index value is still way out there in Karnes City, 104 to 103. So not much cool off in the evening time. A little bit of sea breeze along the coast, of course, keeping Port O'Connor a little bit cooler, but still near 90 degree heat index value. We'll still have a 94 degree heat index value here in Victoria coming up by 9 o'clock in the evening. So, well, not much way relief in the overnight, and we're heating up again for your day tomorrow. Trying to find some rain chances out there. Let's see if I can find some. Trying my best though. I'll let you know that coming up later on, and the full forecast to come later this half hour. Stay cool the best you can and safe. Carolina.
Thank you, Trey. A child died Monday afternoon after drowning at the Aransas Pass Aquatic Center. Emergency responders were dispatched to the scene yesterday at around 2:26 p.m. Witnesses say lifeguards pulled the child from the water and attempted life-saving measures. First responders also tried to revive her. Their efforts continuing until they reached the nearest emergency room. Unfortunately, all life-saving measures were unsuccessful. Authorities say the little girl was under the age of 10 years old and was not a resident of Aransas Pass. The child was at the pool with her family. A senior law enforcement leader confirms that Ted Kaczynski, known as the Unabomber for his 17-year bombing campaign that killed 3 people and hurt 23 others, died by suicide. He was found unresponsive in his cell early Saturday morning at the Bureau of Prisons Federal Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina. He was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. The 81-year-old was suffering from cancer, but it's not clear what form. Kaczynski spent about 20 years at Supermax in Colorado before being transferred to Butner in December of 2021. Donald Trump is in Florida ahead of his arraignment in Miami. The former president's plane landed at Miami International Airport as the big day awaits today. Trump's appearance in Miami will mark his second time since April facing a judge on criminal charges. The former president says he will not plead guilty. He will stay in the presidential race even if convicted. We'll go to Miami for the latest on the arraignment later on Sunrise. We're learning more about the commuter nightmare on Interstate 95 after a busy overpass collapsed. The disaster's impact could reach far beyond the Northeast.
This morning, a warning about the U.S. supply chain after this tanker truck crash that led to the collapse of an overpass on I-95 in Philadelphia Sunday.
It is holy.
The truck was carrying up to 8,500 gallons of gasoline.
From what we understand, the tractor and trailer was trying to navigate the curve, lost control of the vehicle, landed on its side, and ruptured the tank and ignited the fire.
Human remains now found in the wreckage. Family members confirmed the driver, who was killed, was 53-year-old Nathaniel Moody, who leaves behind a girlfriend and a young daughter. Crews saying both sides of the overpass will need to be replaced. The American Trucking Association says the disruptions are likely to have significant impacts on the supply chain, saying up to 9% of vehicles passing through that section of highway are commercial trucks, which now face lengthy detours on far smaller roads.
You don't realize how much that cripples the city.
Experts say although the bridge was listed in good condition, it appears the exposed steel beneath the bridge could not hold up to those fierce flames, burning it up to 1,800 degrees. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
The demolition of the overpass is expected to be done in 5 days, but rebuilding it could take months. Authorities say this vehicle is suspected of a number of car burglaries in Victoria. The thieves reportedly put the vehicles on blocks and then took all 4 tires. Police say they've been hitting 5 cars a night. The SUV has no front license plate and their rear license plate is hard to read. Call 361-526-2351 if you can help. Victoria police need help in identifying the man on your screen. If you recognize him, Detective Fulton wants to hear from you. Here's his contact number. It's 361-485-3754. Kia is recalling some of its 2023 model year Sportages vehicles because of a problem with the braking system. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration said the brake booster diaphragm may become misaligned and leak. If that happens, it can result in a loss of power. Owners of the vehicles covered by the recall should get in touch with their local dealer, who will inspect and change the part if necessary. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Check your freezer frozen strawberries because some are being recalled due to a contamination.
Thousands are expected to rally outside the Miami federal court today, where former President Donald Trump is set to face arraignment. I'm ABC's Justin Finch on how Miami is preparing.
Heat caused by a high pressure ridge over the state of Texas. You see right here, not really moving too much, but will the temperatures be around here? Any rainfall coming our way? We'll take a look coming up. Good morning everyone. Trey Mining here. Take a look at the big picture, Future Tracker. We have a high pressure ridge over the state of Texas. That's what's been giving us the clear weather and hot weather. And looking at the projected forecast for the next several days, they'll kind of oscillate back and forth. And Wednesday pretty much overhead, same thing for your Thursday into your Friday more than likely. So the high pressure ridge staying a part of our weather, keeping us hot, at least for the time being, at least until probably the first part of next week. And then we're looking at the tropics. They're pretty much all quiet. Gulf of Mexico is just about as clear as it gets. Same thing for the Caribbean Sea. Moving all the way out to the African coast, all the way to the Cape Verde Islands and the African coast there. Not anything of consequence out there to think about or to really be concerned about at this time. We'll keep watching them as we get deeper in hurricane season. They'll begin to be more active. Active months are August and September by far. Most of the storms form during those 2 months time period, so we've still got a ways to go yet. And your full forecast for us comes up a little bit later on this half hour. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. We've crowned a new NBA champion and the Generals raised funds for a cause. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
For the first time ever, it has finally happened. The Denver Nuggets have won the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Jimmy Butler played hero ball down the stretch in the fourth, 13 points in a row, just not quite enough. His desperation three at the end, no good. And it's a party in Denver for the first time in 47 years. Nikola Jokic is your finals MVP, who after the game says, job is done. We can go home now. The Victoria Generals hit the diamond this past weekend for a great cause. This past weekend, they donned their Warriors weekend jerseys, which were auctioned off afterwards with 100% of the proceeds going towards Warriors weekend. The community and the Generals helped raise over $15,000. And in 10 seasons, the Generals have helped raise more than $330,000 for local charities through their jersey auctions. And not only do they do fantastic work off the field, they got a huge win last night to snap its 4-game losing streak. Scoreless through 9. The Generals score once in the 10th. Final score, 1-0. And the Rangers blow a late lead against the Angels, and J.J. Watt will be inducted into the Texans Ring of Honor. That's your 25 Sports Now.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku. Just search Apple TV, Android TV, just search Crossroads Today Plus. It's on many platforms. The city of Miami is bracing for large crowds at its federal courthouse. Supporters of the former president and protesters are expected for the arraignment later today. Trump saying he will plead not guilty to 37 criminal counts in connection to his mishandling of classified records and the refusal to return them.
In Miami, an unprecedented moment in U.S. history. Former President Donald Trump ordered to appear for his arraignment in the Mar-a-Lago classified records investigation. The first current or former American president to face criminal federal charges. Appearing on conservative radio, Trump says he will plead not guilty.
I didn't do anything wrong, did nothing wrong. Presidential Records Act, it's not even a criminal event. There is no criminality here.
The city of Miami now planning for 5,000 to 50,000 people to rally outside the federal courthouse.
We wanted to ensure the public that we are ready.
If we begin to see that there's opposing parties, we'll at that time make sure that they're separated.
Trump has long insisted he's done nothing wrong, blaming his indictment on the so-called weaponization of the Justice Department under President Biden.
This vicious persecution is a travesty of justice.
Special counsel Jack Smith's sweeping 49-page indictment alleges Trump knowingly kept extremely sensitive national defense information at his Mar-a-Lago home and resort after leaving office. Some documents allegedly found in boxes stashed in a ballroom, a bathroom, and a storage room. The records including information regarding defense and weapons capabilities of both the U.S. and foreign countries, U.S. nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the U.S. and its allies to military attack, and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. Trump's rivals weighing in.
If this indictment is true, if what it says is actually the case, President Trump was incredibly reckless.
This is vanity run amok. Everyone's blaming the prosecutors. He did it. It's his conduct.
And no cameras allowed in court for today's arraignment. Afterwards, Trump will return to his New Jersey golf club for remarks and a fundraiser tonight. Justin Finch, ABC News, Miami.
That leads us to your viewer poll. Is Trump being wrongly persecuted? Okay, let's take a look. 49% of you say yes, and 51% of you say no. We want to keep hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. The time is now 6:45 on your Tuesday morning. Still to come. Actor Treat Williams lost his life on Monday following a motorcycle accident. Time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Della. Would love to wish our beautiful mom a wonderful and blessed birthday. Thank you for all you do for us. We love you, Mom/Grandma. Love your children, grandchildren, and family.
And Captain America and Buzz Lightyear voice, Chris Evans, with a birthday today. He's 42.
To infinity and beyond, Trey. And happy birthday to Tim Allen. The actor superstar is 70.
All right, there's some home improvement there, I'm sure. And twins Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are celebrating a birthday today. They're 37. Can't believe that. Time flies.
I hear it takes two, Trey.
I heard. There you go. To see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More on Home. You'll see the KVU. Submit your birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on your Tuesday morning. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating one today, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Trey Mining here. And looking at the field-like temperatures today, the big story is going to be the heat and the heat index value associated with that. Take a look at the projections right here. By 11 a.m., already near 90 degrees in Victoria, even topping that, northern parts of the crossroads and along the Media Coast. And then building on that number by 3 o'clock, 100 degrees to a little bit over 100 degree of heat index value. But by 5-6 p.m. this evening, heating of the days at a maximum. Look at this, 108 heat index value from Carson City to Beeville. Very dangerous heat out here, especially well out throughout all the crossroads, as a matter of fact. With 103 heat index value more than likely by 6 p.m. today in Victoria, and 90s along the Media Coast because of a little bit of a sea breeze down there. Because those heat index values are in the dangerous category, that's why there's a heat advisory in effect starting at 1 o'clock till 7 p.m. this afternoon. So keeping that in mind, all the counties you see there, except along the Media Coast with a little bit of sea breeze. So 96 degrees today, 108 heat index value. Be careful. Overnight lows will be in the 70s, 76 degrees, clear skies. For your day tomorrow, sunny, hot again, nearing the 100 degree mark air temperature wise, and more than likely topping that coming up by Thursday and through the weekend. Be safe out there.
Check your freezer frozen strawberries because they're being recalled. Some are being recalled due to potential hepatitis A contamination. Wawona Frozen Foods is recalling an organic Daybreak blend that's a year old. It was distributed to Costco wholesale stores in Arizona, California, Colorado, Utah, and Washington State from April 15th, 2022 to June 26th, 2022. The company says no illnesses are reported and the voluntary recall is being done out of an abundance of caution. Anyone with the recalled product is urged to throw it out or return it to the store it was purchased from for a refund. Raise your glass. A new study shows alcohol reduces stress and could lower the risk of stroke. The study was published Monday in the Journal of the American College of Radiology. Researchers analyzed the drinking habits of thousands of patients and found that those that had 1 to 14 drinks per week were less likely to have a heart attack or a stroke than those who had less than 1 drink per week, even after adjusting for genetic, lifestyle, or other risk factors. They also analyzed brain scans of hundreds of these patients and found that those who were light to moderate drinkers had reduced stress responses in the part of the brain that processes fear and threats, along with fewer heart attacks and strokes. But the researchers found any amount of drinking raised the risk of cancer and say finding alternative methods to reduce stress is important. About 15% of U.S. children were recently treated for mental health disorders. That's new research released today by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The findings suggest that conditions like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or anxiety are common among school-aged children. Most treatments happen among adolescents between 12 and 17 years old. Boys are more likely than girls to have taken prescription medications for their mental health. White children remain the most likely to have received mental health treatment, while Asian children were the least likely. The percentage of children who received mental health treatment in the past 12 months were also higher in places that were more rural. Still to come on Sunrise News to Know Before You Go. A toddler in Michigan dies after an accidental shooting on Monday. Actor Treat Williams lost his life on Monday following a motorcycle accident. Authorities say the accident occurred shortly before 5 p.m. on Vermont Route 30, just north of Morse Hill Road, when a southbound 2008 Honda Element attempted to turn left into a parking lot. Reports state the Honda stopped, signaled left, and then turned into the path of Williams' motorcycle, which was headed northbound. Williams was unable to avoid the collision and was thrown from his motorcycle. He suffered critical injuries and was flown to Albany Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. His family released a statement confirming his death, saying the actor was dearly and deeply loved and respected by his family, and that they are beyond devastated. Williams was 71 years old. A toddler in Michigan dies after an accidental shooting on Monday. Authorities say it happened around 6 p.m. when a 2-year-old gained access to an insecure gun at a residence on Oak Square Lane. The child was taken to a local hospital where they later died. The father of the child is a veteran Dearborn police officer. So far, no charges are filed in the case. The incident is under investigation. 2 children are hurt after investigators say someone poured hazardous chemicals on equipment at a Massachusetts playground. Longmeadow police say muriatic acid, a pool cleaning chemical, was stolen from the storage room at the Bliss Park pool building and dumped onto 3 nearby slides. A mom says 2 of her children were hurt after they slid through a puddle of the chemical. She says her kids are okay, but their legs were left swollen and blistered after coming into contact with the chemicals. Town officials report that hazardous materials have been cleaned up. Still more cleaning crews are expected at the park throughout the week. The playground area of Bliss Park is closed as a precaution. Federal aviation leaders are investigating an emergency landing at a Vermont airport. A Delta flight was forced to land at the Burlington International Airport Monday, just 10 minutes after it took off from Minneapolis, Minnesota. The crew apparently noticed an issue with the engine. A Phase 5 emergency was declared, and fire trucks and first responders surrounded the airport. The Delta passenger jet landed safely, and none of the 140 people on board were hurt. The plane is now being inspected. Wheel of Fortune game show host Pat Sajak says he'll retire next year. He posted a tweet Monday saying it's been a wonderful ride after more than 40 years of hosting the show. He says his 41st season, which begins in September, will be his last. He did not say who may replace him. Sajak is 76 years old. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And we have time for a final check of our forecast with Trey.
And thank you so much, Carolina. Dealing with the heat today, heat index values more than likely topping 105 or so, or 103, 105 by the afternoon and this evening. So please be careful out there. Drink plenty of water, find some shade. Heat advisory until 7 p.m. It goes effective 1 until 7 p.m. for all the Crossroads counties except the immediate coast. And it's hot no matter where you go in the area. 96 degrees today, 108 heat index value, sunny skies. Overnight lows will be about 76, 77 degrees. Mostly clear skies and humid, a few clouds hanging around. And then for your day tomorrow, 98 degrees for your Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, heat index approaching 110 potentially around the region. So that's definitely in the dangerous category. Please be safe out there. Dangerous heat all through the next several days with the high pressure still hanging on to the state of Texas weather, keeping all the storms away from us and the heat in our neighborhoods here. You see the sunny skies, maybe a few clouds by the weekend. Lows in the upper 70s. Heat index values approaching 110 by the afternoon time. And keep in mind, heat advisory goes into effect at 1 o'clock until 7 p.m. this afternoon and evening. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Don't forget about that sunblock and all of those heat safety tips. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join James, Don, Mac, Karina, and Zach today for 25 News Now at 5, 6.